Welcome to Pivot Point, Strategy for Change. I'm Nik Michael. There's a promise almost everyone makes to themselves without ever saying it out loud. Once I arrive, I'll finally be okay. It's called the Arrival Fallacy. Maybe you haven't heard of the term before, but I promise you, you've felt it. It's that belief, quiet, persistent, almost comforting, that once you get there, everything will be okay. Everything will be different. Once you land the job, once you hit the number, once you finish the degree, close the deal, get the relationship, lose the weight, earn the title, once you arrive, you'll finally feel okay. It sounds reasonable. It even sounds motivating. But here's the problem. It's a fallacy. And not just a clever turn of phrase. The emotional payoff of arrival is almost always smaller and shorter than we expect. You reach the goal, you feel something, relief, maybe pride, and then, often within days, the mind quietly moves the goalpost. There's already a new once I get there. I see this constantly in the work I do. Someone reaches the milestone they've been chasing for years, and instead of peace, they feel strangely flat. They don't talk about it because it feels ungrateful. But the flatness is real, and it's not personal failing. It's the predictable result of pinning your sense of okayness into a future event instead of a present choice. So if arrival doesn't deliver what we think it will, what does? This is where the show gets its name. A pivot point is not a destination. It's not the moment everything is finished or perfect or resolved. A pivot point is the moment you turn. It's smaller than arrival, and it's available to you right now, today, in this very moment, which is exactly what makes it so much more useful. Arrival is a destination. Pivot is a decision. And once you see the difference, you're asking yourself, instead of, what do I need to reach before I'm allowed to feel okay? You start asking, what needs to shift right now, in this moment? That's a completely different relationship to your own life. I'd ask you to notice something as we go. In my work, I think about change as something that shows up first in the body before it ever shows up in your thinking. A tightness, a flatness, a restlessness you can't quite name. That sensation is data. It's the earliest signal that a pivot point is available, long before your mind has caught up enough to explain what's wrong. Most people miss it because they're trained to wait for the big, dramatic, undeniable signal. Pivot points rarely come that loud. So let's make this personal for a moment. Where are you telling yourself, I'll be happy when? Where are you postponing your life until a promotion comes through, until the relationship stabilizes, until the project is finished, until someone else finally approves of you? That pattern is seductive precisely because it sounds hopeful. It feels like optimism, but underneath it, it's a stall. It's a way of staying safely in the waiting mode where nothing is required of you yet because the real moment hasn't arrived. The pivot point strategy says, stop waiting for the future to rescue you. Name the pattern you're in. Notice what triggers it. Choose one new move. Not a grand overhaul, just one move. And repeat it until it becomes part of who you are, instead of something you're trying to do. And here's what I want you to take from this episode more than anything else. Change does not require a grand announcement. It doesn't need a finish line, a ceremony, or anyone's permission. It can begin in a single sentence, spoken quietly to yourself. Instead of, I'm not there yet, try, I am at the pivot point. Instead of, I'll start later, try, this is the turn. Instead of, when I arrive, I'll begin, try, I begin now. That's the whole strategy, really. It's not about the finish line. It's never been about the finish line. It's about the turn. So as we close out today's episode, I leave you with the one question I like to ask at the end of every episode. Think about it. What is your pivot point? What's your pivot point? Thanks for listening to Pivot Point Strategy for Change. I'm Nik Michael. Until next time.